What is up, everybody? I am just going live here for a little while we wait for this halftime to show up. Looks like we have got the 4th and 22 with the Niners. It's 41 seconds left, so we'll watch the last part of this, and see how this quarter ends. I am watching on a stream as usual because I live over here. So we'll see how this looks. Also, yes, this room is a mess. We did some serious rearranging in the house this weekend, so we've got stuff all over that isn't supposed to be where it is. So disregard the mess for this week. So far, it's been a pretty good game. Cannot lie. Turn off this fan. There we go. I forgot about that part. Debatable, but I think he's trying to save it for a little bit in case we get somewhere maybe back down towards the. We have a better chance to score come here at the end of the game or the end of the half. I mean. Let's see. How's we go with the punt? Ooh. Okay, return by two flags. Yeah. But you also waste the timeout. So I mean, you do have a valid point on that one, Joseph. I guess it's just debatable on that one for me. Yeah, the defense is playing lights motherfucking out right now. Yeah. I knew they were going to put Jimmy in shotgun most of this game. It just made too much sense. Well, there's one timeout. Oh, no, we're going to keep pushing it. Debo's being Debo. Definitely being Debo. Just that's how it is. Yes, Mimi, it definitely was an awesome touchdown. I don't know where you guys are. I still got 10 seconds left on this before the end of the half. So me and my streams can't watch it live on TV. So if anybody's actually watching it on TV, has it actually ended yet? I gotta keep turning on the volume because I don't want to get cut by somebody, for NFL rights. But then I can barely hear. Actually, let's do this. There we go. Now I can actually hear it. Yeah, that's Jimmy's thing. Gina has a good point. When it comes to Jimmy, Jimmy can throw deep, they just lay up in the air for decades. The balls just hang up there, and they don't come down ever, which is why a lot of them get intercepted or they get batted down because they just float. All right, so here we go. One last play to end the half, and then we'll see how this ends. Just like we're going to toss it up, and we are tossed out of bounds. All right, so there we go. That's the end of the half. Let me pull up stats here. As you can see, everybody, right now, we are going into the halftime. The 49ers are beating the Los Angeles Rams. Score is 14-6. Game probably should have had a few more points on the board considering how the offense has looked at times. And it's definitely a flat ball. There's no velocity on it at all. So yeah, it's 14-6. Honestly, they probably should have had minimum 21. because of that one pass that we had to Warner, who was wide open. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to put that one on to Jimmy per se, but he still had a chance at that one. Had Jimmy hit him inside or outside, maybe Jimmy saw something where he didn't think he could hit him more towards the inside versus outside. So, like I said, even with that one, Warner probably should have made a play on that. But again, it was a longer pass for defense. Definitely, Thomas. This defense right now, like I said earlier, is definitely playing lights out right now. So I got my stuff up. So let's see what we got. Stats. So we'll start off. Not the Rams. I don't want them. Jimmy is 9 of 17 for 138, one touchdown. And look, that one, the Debo, probably should have been picked 9 times out of 10. How that DB did not get that ball, I have absolutely no idea. That ball had no business being in Debo's hands, but he did it, and he took it in for the 75-yard touchdown. And so right now, as far as receiving goes, we got Debo with 3 catches for 79, 1 touchdown. One of them was the 57-yarder. Brandon Ayuk also having a very good game. He's got the 3 catches for 31 yards. Juwan Jennings has 2 for 22. He dropped a third ball. He probably would have had about another 9-10 yards on that one. Ray's got the 1, and then the 1 to Charlie, which was dropped. Right now on the defense, looks like Dre Greenlaw is leading with Emmanuel Mosley right behind. They've tried to almost go after Emmanuel a little bit, and Emmanuel is holding his ground against some of these guys. All right, so let's bring up. Jimmy's doing okay. Yeah, Jimmy is being Jimmy. Jimmy is never going to be a 350-yard, 4-touchdown, 5, kind of a player. That's not what he does. He's a medium passer who actually short to medium, more short, where he gets the ball to his players, his receivers, and his backs, and he lets them play ball. That's what he does. You can almost call him, and I know a lot of people think of this as a disrespect towards him, but a game manager. There's nothing wrong with being a game manager when he does it like he's doing it right now. Fred Warner's a beast. Fred Warner had an awesome deflection on that pass that was going to Cooper Kupp right at the end zone. And like I said, Fred Warner's amazing when it comes to pass coverage. Should have run the score because we would get penalties. Yeah, you never know about the penalties, but we went one game. Well, last week we had a shit ton of penalties, and the week before we only had like 1 penalty, and that came at like 5 minutes left and in the end of the game. So let's see. Again, yep, another one person. Defense is definitely playing out their minds. Let's see, what do the defense have right now? Let's pull up what we got. Why does ESPN always crap out when it comes to doing team stats? All right, let's see if I can do math. So Stafford has gone for 97 yards, and they've got 14, 13. So you're looking at 130-ish yards total for the Rams in that half. That is a very good number considering they're one of the better offenses in the game. Their running game wasn't the best. They were only averaging, I think, like 86 yards a game so far in the season. So even there wasn't too great. Mimi, if they keep playing like this, will definitely get the W. That's the thing. We got to keep consistent with I would like to see another really good sustained drive. Let's get one of those 10, 12 play drives that, eat up 9, 12, 10 minutes on the clock. Let the defense get rested because as with a lot of our games, we're fine going into halftime. And at the halftime, the defense just spends way too much time on the field the second half to get worn down. So, definitely. But at this pace, this is definitely a Niners style of football to where we're just going to grind it out and win it. Thomas, got to get Kittle involved. Yeah, I haven't seen him. It's not even that, but some of the times late in the second quarter, I started watching Kittle. I'm not even seeing him get open or anything, but maybe he'll pop open in the second half. Right now, if we just keep doing what we're doing, it's slow and steady. We're definitely the turtle when it comes to a lot of this stuff. We just got to keep coming. And Joe, no penalties like in the fourth quarter. Yeah, we just don't want to give them any more opportunities than they're already going to have. Right now, as far as running game goes, let me pull the stats back up. I hate having one screen because I can't see anything. Let's see. Right now, we got Jeff Wilson for 7 carries, 44 yards, the 1 long touchdown. Jimmy has the one run for 3 yards, and then Debo has 2 carries for 2 yards. We need to start getting away from going to Jimmy constantly, going Debo up the middle. Teams are definitely catching on to it. I mean, Debo still makes things work, but we've got to find somebody else to run up into the middle to take that middle pounding that Debo takes by running the ball up there into somebody else. Let's see what Jimmy needs to relax, make sure he's hitting his targets. Not all drops are his fault, but he had a few missed throws for all him. Yeah, definitely. I'm harder on Jimmy. I think most people who watch the show know I'm pretty hard on Jimmy, and it's not necessarily all his fault. But yeah, Jimmy is definitely, he still has a few hospital balls that he throws, like the one to Debo where Debo broke it for a touchdown. That was definitely a hospital ball. As high as he threw it, it probably should have been picked. It gets picked most times by most good DBs. Just happened to get that one, but that was another high, or if he gets stuck, could you imagine if that guy went for the tackle instead and just slammed his shoulder into Debo's ribs? So, but again, we do have huge playmakers that can make plays when stuff like that. Let's see. Thomas, get Juice more involved. I'm definitely always more for more Juice. I like Juice. But he's best when he's blocking and out there leading everything for those guys. But I don't mind seeing Juice go out in the flat and every once in a while maybe roll him out of the backfield, get a touchdown with those. So, I mean, more Juice is definitely good. For the second half, let's keep doing what we're doing. I would like to see, along with a longer sustained drive, let's get the running game going a little bit. It's been hit and miss for a few times. But if we can keep them out there, they will start to wear down. You can already see Jalen Ramsey getting a little pissy out there. Go after – I've said, and I know a lot of other people said, if you can get into Jalen Ramsey's head, he drops from a top-tier corner down to nothing really quick. You can't be afraid to go at him, because if you get him, 3 or 4 times, he starts overthinking it, and he breaks down very quickly. Jimmy's staying tall. Jimmy's doing, Jimmy, this is what Jimmy does. Yes, he can get a little bit better. Obviously, last week he looked a little bit worse, but this is pretty much par for the course with Jimmy. This is what, again, game manager. That's all I want from Jimmy. Let's see. No penalties. Yeah, definitely. It's hard to go an entire game with no penalties, but let's keep it. Let's not get the penalties to where it's like a pass interference and they get, 30 to 40 yards on on a third down. AKA Josh Norman from last year. As far as the defense goes, that defense, I'm kind of wanting more blitzes up the middle. They are down now both tackles and their center, and I think they're down a third guard right now. That's who came out earlier. So the middle of that interior defensive line or offensive line is weak right now. Let's just blitz the hell out of him, Stafford, right now, up the middle. Let's go after where their weak point is. We did it once where we sent Hufanga up there. Let's keep doing that. Send Gibson. Keep sending Warner. Warner, I think, went once or twice. Let's see. I'm happy for him now. Jimmy's being Jimmy. All right. Then Mike. Debo knocked Ramsey on the slant. Yeah. Like I said, you can't be afraid to go after Ramsey. Yes, Ramsey is a top-tier defensive back in the league, but you can't be afraid of him. If you go after him, you will have your chances. And mentally, he does break down, especially late in games where he's getting burnt. Excuse me, left and right. Let's see, one more. I wish I had a few more jet sweeps. Yeah, we've kind of those were a big staple of Debo back in 2019, 2020. We've really gone away from them. And the jet sweeps, I remember this year that we've done more with Ayuk and Ray than we have actually. I don't think Debo's actually run one all year. He's been mostly screens up the middle, everything else. But yeah. So, yeah, definitely keep the defense. I'm all for blitzing Stafford up the middle especially. I think we'll see more of Jimmy under center in the second half, especially if we go to a more run-heavy second half offense, trying to get that clock down. But like I said, I figured out that Jimmy was, with the interior of the offensive line being the weak point on our offensive line and then the interior of the Rams defensive line, I knew we had to bring Jimmy back. We can't, he needs that extra 3 or 4 yards just to be able to take a look around. But Brunskill has been amazing. Aaron Donald's daddy has shown up, and he is doing visitation rights on Aaron. Aaron Donald has gone in and made a few plays, but for the most part, you haven't heard Aaron Donald's name all that much, and I'm going to put a lot of it on Brunskill. Brunskill just has something with him where he just plays balls out when it comes to Aaron Donald. Just whatever it is, he knows the secret. He ain't sharing it with anybody, and that's him. But so far, I would say right now for that half, I'd give it 7.5 out of 10. Jimmy's played decent. Just a couple of those balls, like someone else had mentioned earlier, definitely not his fault, like Jawan Jennings. I didn't take as much of offense to that as a lot of people did. Yeah, he probably should have been pissed, but I didn't. I wasn't too terribly worried about that. So as per usual, Jamie will be on at 9:00 Pacific Standard Time, maybe a little later, depending on how the game goes, and she'll be doing the post-game show. I will not be there tonight because I have to get up early as shit, and I'm probably going to be going heading to bed pretty much as soon as I get off here. At least watch the rest of the game from my bed. And then on Tuesday, me and TJ will be live at 4:00 Pacific Standard Time. We'll be doing the full review show for this game. Definitely, Mimi, let's go Niners. Let's hope, let's finish this game out. Let's get that W, because if we get the W, we are back in first place for the NFC West. It's where we belong. All right, for everybody showing up, thank you very much. Remember, Jamie will be on at 9:00 or a little bit after, depending if it goes any farther. And bang, bang, Niner gang. Thank you, everybody.